Adventure. It calls to each of us in different ways. Doing a 5,000-mile overlanding adventure in New Mexico was our invitation to step out of our comfort zones and explore something new. A chance to discover Mexico's wild beauty. But every adventure has its share of risks. A quick Google search might reveal stories of corrupt police, bandits, scams, and robberies. But for every horror story, there are 1,000 incredible ones, especially from the Baja. Stories of adventurers discovering untouched, pristine beaches far away from the crowds and chaos of big cities. Stories of meeting warm and welcoming locals, farmers, and wildlife. Our goal, to seek out the beauty and positivity that Baja has to offer while remaining smart, vigilant, and only taking calculated risks along the way. Join us as we cross 2 international borders, traveling the full length of the Baja Peninsula to Cabo, and then making our way back to our home in Canada. Normally, this is a sound I dread, but this morning it is met with excitement. Waking up to a light dusting of snow seemed like the perfect send-off. Over the next 48 hours, I would need to cover over 1,300 miles. So on the first day, I'd be doing a 2-hour boat ride and 10 plus hours of driving to get to the border of Oregon and California. And day 2, I'd be driving over 12 hours and traveling over 700 miles to get to the Tijuana Pinnacles just outside LA, where I'd be meeting my wife and kids. What's up, guys? This is day 1 of the epic 7,000 mile adventure down to the tip of the Baja Peninsula. It starts today. I just crossed the Canada-US border, and let me tell you, it's an interesting day today. It's an interesting day to be heading down to nice hot Mexico. It is currently snowing out. There's been rain, sleet, there's currently snow on the highway. I think I'm going about 30 miles per hour right now on the I-5. I've seen multiple cars in the ditch, so, you know, a nice day to be going to Mexico, but not a nice day to be traveling on the highway. I'm supposed to cover 600 miles today, and tomorrow I'm going to be in the Tijuana Pinnacles camping just outside of LA, and then the next morning I'm going to meet the family. As you may know, we have 2 very young kids who can't stay in a car for very long, so the plan is for me to drive all the way down to LA, meet the family, grab them, stay in a hotel. Then the next morning we're going to cross the border into Tijuana and start making our way down the Baja Peninsula. Yeah, hopefully I can make it to my first stop tonight and make it to LA on time to meet the family. The weather is supposed to just continue to deteriorate from here on out, so the further south I get, the more the weather should improve, and hopefully I can start to make up the time that I'm losing right now. As I made my way further south, the weather did improve, and I was able to make up some of the time that I had lost. But I did have to drive a lot longer and later than I had expected. All right, guys, so I have made it to the Tijuana Pinnacles in California. Today was a super long day on the road. I think it's midnight now. I was traveling for about 13 hours to get here, but I'm on schedule. Everything's going as planned. This area looks absolutely beautiful. As I was pulling in, I could see all the kind of rock formations, the silhouettes under the stars. I think it's gonna be an absolutely beautiful location to wake up tomorrow morning. Super picturesque, and it's gonna be the perfect launch point to head into LA to get the family. I'll be meeting my wife and kids at LAX, and that's when our true journey will begin to Mexico. But for now, I better get some rest because tomorrow's another big day. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the flip side. So you're probably wondering why this girl is helping me pack up my rooftop tent. Well, her and her partner got their vehicle stuck, and then somebody came along to help them, and they also got their vehicle stuck. So I used my winch to pull both of these vehicles out, and then eventually everybody was back on the road and on their way. All right, so I'm running a little bit behind schedule now. I had to pull those 2 Jeeps out back there in the Toronto Pinnacles. It was a couple from France that got their rental stuck, their rental Jeep, and then they went and grabbed a guy who was camped nearby. Another Jeep with 4-wheel drive, but he got stuck in the same sand pit that they did. Anyways, so that's kind of put me behind schedule. So now I'm on a mad dash to get to LA and pick up the family from LAX. If all goes according to plan, I'll get there maybe like 10 minutes late. But with rush hour traffic in LA, who knows? So now it's just a mad dash to get to LA. Let's see how it goes. It's 6 a.m. Today we're making our run for the border. Got the family and the kids just in the hotel room, so gonna grab some quick breakfast and hit the road. Hello, no camera?
No camera?
Oh, okay, sorry. Apparently you're not allowed cameras at the Tijuana border, if anyone's wondering. Which means I should probably turn this one off too. All right, just at the search station, just got searched. Everything's good though, all the papers checked out. The passports are good, so I think we're on to get our FMM, which is basically our clearance to be in Mexico. You have to pay a fee if you're driving in a vehicle. So I think that's what we're gonna do next. Out of caution, we decided to spend our first night in a hotel in Ensenada. We're still relatively close to the border, where there are unfortunately higher crime rates. And at this point, we're actually technically illegal aliens without the FMM, but that didn't bug us too much, because we had other priorities. Tacos. Delicious fish tacos for under $1.50. I could get used to this. Nestled on the picturesque Baja California coastline, Ensenada is a hidden gem that beckons travelers with its breathtaking streets, vibrant culture, and malecon. With its perfect blend of stunning natural landscapes and charming coastal town vibes, Ensenada offers something for everyone. We enjoyed our stay in Ensenada, but the next morning we'd be stocking up on supplies and then hitting the road for 5 days of camping on remote beaches. So we would be heading for Camp 1. It'd be our first night of camping in Mexico, and it would take us about 4 hours or 150 miles to get there. And that's not including stops, and we made a couple stops. The first stop was, of course, for tacos. And our second stop would be at a winery for wine tastings. Once Haley spotted this winery on the side of the road, we just had to stop. And we were not disappointed. The wine was incredible and the hosts were a lot of fun. And you know what they say, happy spouse, peaceful house. I think that still applies if you're sleeping in a rooftop tent. It's good. Eventually, we would find a dirt road down to our first camp spot of the trip. We didn't really know what to expect, as this was our first night camping in Mexico. But the sound of the ocean and the beautiful view definitely put us at ease. So we just made it to camp number 1. We drove for about 3.5 hours today. Took us a little while to find this spot. There's a bunch of different spots along the water here, but some of the trails are washed out, and at the other end there was somebody camping there, and we don't really want to be around anybody else. We kind of like to have our own, private area. So really happy to have found this place. And actually, as we were driving down, I pointed out to Haley, I was like, check that out. A whale breached. You could see all the mist come up. So that was pretty cool to see. It really made us feel like we had found the right spot. We're gonna go on whale watch, get camp set up, and make some food. Alright, so that is a wrap on our first night there of camping in Mexico. It went super smoothly. We were right next to the ocean. I could hear the waves crashing all night. It was absolutely beautiful. We had a beautiful view of the water. We did see whales again this morning, but they were super far out. Tried to get the drone over there to capture them, but it was too late. They were already gone. But yeah, I felt completely safe camping in Mexico. At no point did I feel concerned. A vehicle did drive by this morning. I was like, who is that? But then it just turned out to be a family going down to the water to go fishing. They kind of waved at me when I got up, and yeah, so I felt comfortable.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, like, the first night camping in Mexico, something we've never done before, I was a little bit nervous. I'm like, how's this gonna go? But yeah, waking up today, I felt like totally safe. I had a good sleep. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, you hear a lot of horror stories and that, so you kind of think that that's gonna happen, or it happens every time or every night.
Yeah.
But I think those things rarely happen.
Yeah.
And if they do happen, you definitely hear about it. So
yeah.
It gets in the media and stuff like that. It seemed completely safe. We're just off to our next spot now. Our next spot, we're gonna have to drive out pretty far away from the highway to get to this spot. So kind of excited for the mission and for the solitude. I think it's gonna be a really nice little beach. Right now I'm just on pothole duty, so I'm just swerving and avoiding all these different potholes in the road. The roads here are very narrow and a lot of turns. I did take my sway bar off the 4Runner for more articulation, but it's not ideal when you have a rooftop tent and a fully loaded vehicle. But it is a fun drive. It's pretty beautiful. There's a lot of huge cactuses out here, like cactuses that are like 2 stories tall. It's unbelievable. But yeah, we're gonna get to the next destination and hopefully everything goes smoothly. So we had a great night last night, had some drinks, enjoyed watching the stars here. We had this whole beach, this whole area all to ourselves. We haven't seen a single person. It's been very private, very nice. We're literally right on the water here. We could hear the waves crashing all night again tonight. Yeah, just absolutely beautiful. Today we have a big drive ahead of us though. We're driving about 4 hours to our next camp. We'll just call it Camp 3. But on our way there, we're gonna hit 2 military checkpoints. And one of these military checkpoints, the last one has a really bad reputation. So far we've hit 2 or 3 of these things, but we've just gone right through. They haven't pulled us over and asked us any questions or anything like that. They were just checking traffic heading northbound, which makes sense if people were gonna bring drugs up, and I think that's what these checkpoints are for. They would be going from south to north. But this second checkpoint that we're gonna hit today, I hear that the guys are pretty corrupt. They're pulling over everybody. There are recent reports online where they're trying to extort money out of people, basically. They'll pull things out like Tylenol, say that you can't have this, it's an illegal drug, give us some money and we'll let you go. Also reports of them basically getting you out of the car. One guy will be just trying to distract you while the other one is going through, supposedly checking your vehicle, but really he's looking for money. So people have gotten to their hotels or, camps, and they've realized that they're missing like tons of money out of their bag, basically all their cash, sometimes valuables. So we're a little nervous about this second checkpoint. There are reports online, recent reports, I'll put them up on the screen, from like 2 or 3 weeks ago even, going back about 3 months, where this checkpoint's been a real problem. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's unfortunate that down here in Mexico, a lot of times you have to worry about the people that are there to protect you, like police officers, military personnel. They're supposed to be there for your well-being, but they unfortunately use that position of power to quite oftentimes get money out of you in unlawful ways. So hopefully this checkpoint goes smoothly, but we're gonna continue packing up the car. We're gonna enjoy this view. I'm gonna set up some cameras inside the vehicle to hopefully record these guys. Hopefully they don't mind being recorded. And yeah, wish us luck.
Hola. Good morning. Spanish?
English.
English. ¿Dónde estás vacaciones?
Vacation.
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 Yeah.
Los Cabos.
Okay, I can go?
Cabo.
Gracias.
Bye.
Thank you. So we made it through the military checkpoint without any issues, but just up the road, we'd end up getting pulled over by the police. And for the record, this was 100% my fault. The police were not picking on me.
Hola.
Habla español, inglés, yo hablo
Inglés.
poquito inglés. Es que paró la velocidad, speed limit is 40
40. Oh,
kilometers.
kilometers.
The speed limit was 40 kilometers per hour and I was doing 60, which is still pretty damn slow, but I was technically still breaking the law.
I didn't realize how big it was.
Can I see your driver's license?
Sí.
Where are you going, amigo?
Yeah.
Can I see your
Registration? Yeah. Yeah. This one.
You're from Canada?
Sí. Yes.
Sean, huh?
Yeah, Sean. Yeah.
Can we get a ticket, but we have to go back to town.
Go back to town.
Yeah. Or do you want to talk to my, let's see my boss, let's see what can help you out?
So I was taken to the back of the vehicle where I was given 2 options. Now, I'm not looking to get anybody into trouble here, so let's just say I took option 2 and I was on my way.
Just be really careful with the road, okay?
Okay, we'll do.
Okay, good to go. Okay.
Gracias, thanks.
All right, here we go. This is the military checkpoint with a really bad reputation. Let's see how it goes.
Hola. No hablas español.
No? Family?
Sí.
You were going?
To camp 2 hours down the road. Baja Concepción.
Concepción?
Sí.
Okay. Go.
Vacación. Gracias.
I think having a family around here helps.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
As soon as I mentioned family and saw the kids, just waved me right through. After 4 hours of driving and 3 encounters with the authorities, we would finally make it to Camp 3. This would be our first night on the east side of the peninsula. The sand was soft, the weather was warm, and the views would only get better from here on out. we were able to yet again enjoy another peaceful, quiet night on a beach all to ourselves. The next morning we awoke to the sights and sounds of nature, a pod of dolphins swam by, and we went for a nice swim in the ocean. On our way out, we'd hit some really soft sand that seemed to be made up of these really smooth, rounded shells. Fortunately, we were simply able to air down to 15 psi. There was no need for recovery boards or any sort of digging. On our way to Camp 4, we'd be driving through some beautiful locations, some mountains, and some beautiful scenic bays along the east coast of the peninsula. We'd only be driving 3 hours and covering 120 miles. All right, good morning. It is 7 a.m. We are at Camp 4. Yesterday we were at Camp 3, and that was an absolutely beautiful location. The whole drive actually from that camp to this camp was beautiful too. We're on the east side of the peninsula. We were just passing these beautiful, turquoise blue bays where all these people were just camping kind of on the beach. So a lot of great camp spots here on the east side. The water's a little warmer. The scenery is definitely really nice. I'm surrounded by mountains right now. We're kind of in this bay, and this is the first time we've actually camped with any other people. There's a whole bunch of vehicles parked here. A lot of people playing volleyball and stuff yesterday. It was a fun time. Everyone was having fun, playing music and stuff like that. So a bit of a different vibe from our last few camp spots where we've kind of been in the middle of nowhere on our own. I did wake up this morning and saw a bunch of dolphins cruising by, a big family of them, so that was pretty cool. And then we got all these birds out here hunting fish, so a very scenic, beautiful area. Today we have a really long drive ahead of us. That's why I got up early, and we're gonna be going to a really beautiful beach, and there'll be some 4x4ing to actually get to this beach. But I better make some quick breakfast and hit the road, because we got about 3 hours of driving, maybe 4 ahead of us. After a fun drive through the desert, we eventually made it to Camp 5. And we had a bit of fun when we got there. We caught an amazing sunset that night, and then the next morning we just saw pod after pod of whales as they went right by our camp. After Camp 5, we'd be hitting the city of La Paz and Cabo San Lucas. After Cabo, I'd be going off solo, hitting more remote off-road trails and traveling deeper into the Baja backcountry. But until then, we'd be soaking up the city life, having a much-needed shower, and doing some laundry. La Paz is definitely a serene coastal gem where the warm waters of the Sea of Cortez meets tranquil vibes, vibrant sunsets, and a very rich history. Our stay here will be short-lived, as the next day we'll be hitting Cabo San Lucas. Mexico for busy streets, crowds, or cruise ships, we still enjoyed our short stay in Cabo San Lucas. The marina is full of energy with restaurants, shops, bars, and every tour you could imagine. But after a couple days of fun in the sun, I quickly found myself dreaming of the dusty trail that awaits. The family would soon be flying back home, and the next chapter of the adventure would begin. On the second to last morning in Cabo, something rare and almost magical happened. It's 6 a.m. I'm just about to head to the beach. Over the last few weeks, people have been witnessing whales come up onto the beach super early in the morning. So I'm gonna head down there in hopes of capturing this phenomenon of these whales coming up on the beach and rubbing the sand. So wish me luck. Let's head down to the beach now. All right, I'm not gonna lie. I forced myself to get up every morning at 6 a.m. to look for these whales. After seeing all the whales at Camp 5 and hearing these stories, I just really wanted to see this phenomenon. And on this particular morning, I'd finally get lucky. When I asked a local about this kind of behavior, I was told that it's extremely rare, but he did recall seeing it as a child, so about 30 to 40 years ago. But due to increases in marine traffic, noise, and development, it is rarely seen in this area anymore. Now we are here for the peak whale migration season. We're here in February, so it does increase our odds, but to see this kind of behavior in Cabo is extremely rare. After watching the whales for a good 15 minutes via drone, I decided to pack up the drone and run down the beach to see if I could see them in person. I eventually made it down there and managed to pull out my phone just in time to capture a few shots before they swam off. All right, so today is a very sad day. The family goes back home and the solo adventure back begins. But we're gonna hit some awesome trails. I'm super excited for the adventure back. Cabo was nice, but I'm looking forward to some solitude after all the crazy, busy, just touristy stuff that was going on there. But we did create some amazing family memories and got to have some showers and rest up, so that was good. I'm sure you're looking forward to going home and getting back into your old routine.
Honestly, no. I wish I could come back up to Canada with you.
Yeah,
but unfortunately,
true.
our 5-month-old feels other's. So
yeah,
we'll be flying back.
The little ones can't stay in the car for too long. So yeah, we're just on our way to San Jose here in Cabo, and then we're gonna hit the airport and drop them off. But yeah, super stoked for the adventure tonight. I'm gonna camp just outside of a trailhead. And then tomorrow morning, I'm going to be crossing over some mountains solo in Mexico. I think I'm getting more comfortable with Mexico, so should hopefully be good. Got to stock up on some groceries and supplies. And yeah, some awesome adventures await. But today is a very sad day because this adventure ends.
Yes, very sad.
You want to leave this place where we grew up, this old town, just put it all behind.
After covering so many miles and after creating so many memories, it was incredibly hard to say goodbye. With the family gone, a quiet emptiness settled in as I drove into the mountains that night. With the wife and kids gone, I instantly reverted back to my natural state, camping in the dirt, clutching a beer, and proudly burning a bachelor-style macaroni and cheese dinner like it was some sort of caveman feast.
Gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're
Good morning. All right, so night one of solo camping in Mexico down. It wasn't that bad. I slept pretty good. I think I was pretty tired. No cars, traffic, or anything drove by on the trail here. I'm kind of just off the trail. But the coyotes and the cows and the owls kept me up a bit. You know, woke me up from time to time. But yeah, the sun is just starting to hit the mountains around me with a beautiful kind of pink glow. It's neat up here. I'm in Cabo, which is mostly all desert, but up in these mountains, there's a lot of green foliage, trees, huge valleys, but you got like palm trees and stuff too. It's a really neat location. I'm excited for the drive today. The drive up here was absolutely beautiful as the sun was setting. So yeah, let's make some food and let's hit this awesome trail.
Lost Naranjos trail was not as challenging as I was expecting, but it was very scenic. My original plan was to camp near the town of El Pescadero, but I quickly discovered this beach was full of other campers, so I decided to go further up the highway to a more remote beach that had a great reputation for whale watching.
All right, I found a perfect camp spot. This is exactly what I was hoping for. The first place I went to, it was okay. It was a nice beach, but there was just a whole bunch of people basically camping right next to each other. I don't know, I like the solitude. I like this. I like having my own space, just the big open ocean, no town nearby. I don't have cell service, but I don't really need it. And when I first pulled up here, I watched a whale come out of the water, half breach, and then go back in. It was so cool. I tried to get my drone out. I tried to get my phone out first to get a recording of it, but I missed it. But yeah, I'm starving. I gotta make some food. I haven't eaten in like 4 hours, so I kind of got obsessed with the whales and getting the camp set up, but yeah, I got to get some food in me, maybe do a bit more recording, and then hit the hay. There it is, grilled cheese sandwiches with McDonald's ketchup packages. You can definitely tell my wife left yesterday. What's up, guys? So I had a great sleep last night listening to the waves crash. So many whales out there. I actually saw a few breach, like fly up out of the water, and boom, you can see massive waves. It's kind of like a torpedo coming out, spinning and then going back in. But lots of wildlife out here. Saw a coyote just go by camp just like 5 minutes ago. I was gonna spend the whole day here just because it's so beautiful, so much to see, and it's just so peaceful, and you know, I got this whole area to myself. But I gotta head more north. I figure, I just want to hit more spots, get more different experiences. I do have a couple trails planned that I'm excited about, so yeah, those are further north and on the east side. So big day of driving here. I had like 3 cups of coffee and I got snacks back, so let's do this.
So on this day, I'd be driving over 5 hours and covering 200 miles or 320 kilometers. But every mile and kilometer would be worth it when I get to this location because it was absolutely beautiful. After 4 hours of driving through the desert, I entered the mountains. The canyons and red rock resembled that of Utah, if Utah had an ocean. As the 4Runner snaked through the Sierra de la Gigante, cliffs rise like sentinels and the ocean starts to glimmer on the horizon. The road down isn't for the faint of heart. Expect switchbacks, tight corners, and breathtaking drops. But the reward is unforgettable. Once I descend the final stretch, the ocean comes into full view. It's like stumbling upon a secret area carved out of time. All right, so camp number 3. I did pick this place at the last minute and it did not disappoint. This area is absolutely beautiful. I'm surrounded by mountains and palm trees. I did set up kind of late last night, just quickly set up the tent, made some food, did a bit of prep work for this morning. Because I'm gonna have to put in a really long day today. I've been doing like 3 hours a day so far, and I'm not really making it too far up north, and if I maintain this pace, I'm gonna get home too late and I'll miss work. So today I'm gonna try to put in an 8-hour day on the road. We'll see how it goes. I do want to hit some spots that I haven't hit yet, and that's on the east side of the peninsula. I think it'll be pretty scenic and beautiful and just a whole different experience. So yeah, let's get this thing packed up and let's hit the road. Alright, so I'm just in the small town of Santa Rosalia. Making a lot of distance on the highway today, so I wasn't able to make lunch, so I'm just stopping for some quick tacos. None of the menu is in English, so I just picked something out. So I'm gonna get a mystery box of food in a couple minutes here. Alright, so this seafood ceviche tostada thing or whatever I just got, it's probably one of the best things I think I've had so far in Mexico. It is so healthy, so flavorful. It's incredible. I might actually go back and get the name of this and try to make it at home, although I don't think I could ever replicate something like this. Here we go, military checkpoint. This one does not have a good reputation, so wish me luck.
Yeah.
Inspection.
Yeah, inspection C. Okay.
No cannabis, no?
No cannabis, no.
Remember how I was talking about the bad military checkpoint earlier in the video? Well, now I was hitting that checkpoint heading northbound without the family in the car. The fella asked me to get out, and the other guy came over to basically distract me while he looked in the center console. And this is a tactic I read up on, so I made sure prior to hitting this checkpoint that I had no money in the center console or in the cup holders or anything that he could get his hands on. So eventually, after a very thorough search, I was able to go on my way. After a long day on the road, I would eventually arrive at Solo Camp 4. At this camp, I would simply sleep, get up in the morning, make food, and hit the road again. The next day, I'd be on my way to San Felipe. And on my way to San Felipe, I had to stop at this dried up lake bed to have a little fun. Now, this may not have been the best idea as I was running low on fuel. I had to use my reserve and pray that the next gas station was open. Driving in rural, remote Mexico with barely any fuel in your tank and your vehicle loaded full of valuables leaves you pretty uncomfortable. But Gaia GPS came through for me, and that little gas icon actually proved to be an open station this time. And I had never been so relieved to see a gas station in my life. Good morning. I am in a little town called San Felipe. Got here last night, kind of at about 3 o'clock. I was a bit tired, so I decided just to stay at a campground. So I stopped at this one here, first one I found basically. It's right on the water, nice view, but unfortunately, you can hear in the background there, dogs barking. Dogs were barking from 8 p.m. all the way until about 6 a.m. I'm not joking. They were barking all night on the beach, in the campground, up on the road, cars driving by. Really made me appreciate all the awesome places I've stayed so far that weren't in town, where you just had that peace, the quiet, the serenity, the solitude, and more of a connection with nature. I'm gonna go to a place called Guadalupe Canyon, where there's some hot springs. It's kind of close to the border, the Mexicali border, so it's the perfect last stop on the trip, and I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful. And it is off-road to get there, so we'll see what the adventure brings, and hopefully we get that spot tonight. Beyond the dust and desert winds tucked deep into the rugged heart of Baja lies a hidden oasis, the Guadalupe Canyon Hot Springs. The road to get here isn't particularly easy, it's rocky, remote, and raw. But that's the beauty of it, because sometimes the best places aren't found on maps, they're found at the edge of comfort. And that's where adventure begins. If you decide to venture out to the Guadalupe Hot Springs, the entrance you want to take is to your right. This one has lower prices, spectacular views, and a very kind owner. Enjoying a nice padron, a Dos Equis with lime, in a hot spring in the desert was the perfect way to close out the trip.
All right, guys, so the final destination before hitting the Mexicali border crossing, the Guadalupe Canyon Hot Springs. Absolutely beautiful. I knew driving up here, I'm going, man, this is a little far out of the way, like 45 to an hour off the highway. I'm like, is this going to be worth it? But, you know, usually these places that are pretty far away are just pristine, nice, unspoiled. And if people are driving 45 minutes out of the way to get to somewhere, usually it's worth it. And this place is totally worth it. It's absolutely beautiful. You're surrounded by palm trees. Every single campsite has its own mini hot spring pool in it, and the place is really well maintained. Like, they've even raked the dirt all around here. I would definitely come back out here. I sent my wife a message through our GPS messenger, and I said, we got to come back out here, and I got to bring you to this spot because this spot is absolutely incredible. Beautiful sunrise this morning with nice light hitting all the peaks around this area, and from each pool, I think you have a view of mountains and definitely, you know, palm trees in the valley. So a totally beautiful place. Today I'm going to be hitting the Mexicali border and then making my way back up to Canada. Man, this Mexico trip has been incredible. Just such diverse terrain, mountains, ocean, the wildlife, the dolphins, the whales. It's just been incredible. So many different memories, incredible food. I just want to keep coming back here. I don't know, but I'm already thinking about next year and how I can make my way back out here with the family, because it was just one of those trips that you'll never forget.
As this adventure comes to close, I'm reminded why we chose this journey. From mountain trails to ocean tides, Mexico has welcomed us with open arms and stories written in color, culture, and kindness. This isn't just travel, it's togetherness, discovery, and the simple magic of life lived slowly. Thanks for riding along with us. Until the next campfire, we'll see you down the road.